I just got.
Yeah, we have a history together.
Yeah.
Now we really working together. So you are never. So happy to meet you.
Tell me there's something people can understand.
Jullie werken allemaal hier, hè? Ja.
Good work. Good work. Thank you.
That's why I asked.
It's so nice to see so many people here. A lot of our guests we invited. Lots of tenants from Carbon 6 are here. Everybody welcome to our event. It's for us an important day, the opening of CarbonBlue. Before we start with the fun part, I think we have a few interesting talks. And I first would like to ask Jens Bartholmes, Policy Officer for the EU Commission, specifically for Sustainable Societies and Cities. Please, Jens.
I'm really happy to be here because I didn't even know this place existed. One of our main priorities is actually over the last 15 years to make cities more sustainable and more energy sufficient. When it comes to cities, it must be a place that you want to live in. You can put all the tech in that you want, but if you don't want to live in the place, then all the energy efficiency is actually for nothing. This is what attracted me a lot to this place. The normal business model of saying, first I make the place super efficient, super expensive, I put in everything, and then maybe the people come later. This is actually the right way now, as you did it here. You made it something that became sustainable and that also auto-sustained itself from a business point of view. We have, as Dirk said before, this European partnership for smart cities and communities. And this is something that actually we give the possibility to communities and to inventors and to people that really believe in this, like you. I have to tell you, you're at a very high level, so you're really a forerunner in this, so you can be very proud of this. You started some years ago here, you're building this gradually to something that at the end will be a positive energy district, block, whatever, but you have to spread this knowledge also, because other people want to know and other people have to know, because we are all together in this, and in 30 years to do such a big transition is a big thing. You are doing your share already, but this has to be also spread. And I will tell all our community all over Europe to look at this for example. And with this, I hope we have also a very fruitful day of exchange, and I hope to learn much more also about this community. Thanks a lot.
Gerben, please come to the stage and tell us a little bit about Wallace.
As you can hear, my voice didn't travel with me. Today for me is all about friends and collaboration. Collaborate or die, I think that's where we are in climate and in our challenges. Weld some more friendships today to see where we can bring, sample projects into the future. If you're very close to this building, it's sometimes really hard to have an overview. Don't you feel the same thing? If you're standing here, you don't know what's really happening here. And that goes for Wallace too. A couple of months ago, I read in the newspaper a journalist that was on this place. He was actually standing underneath the carport with solar panels on top. And he just wrote, like, years ago, Wallace promised to do an energy transition. He said, well, I don't see a windmill, there's no energy transition. He was so close to this big carport, and he missed the fact that we're doing an energy transition. Wallace is an international company, and we like to create sustainable urban community. Dirk already said, we travel a lot. We call it sort of global stage. It's a big name for what we're trying to do. We interact with a lot of international governments, with cities. We see that today in CarbonBlue. It's a project That's based on the Earth Charter. With climate reality, it's the group of Al Gore. The United Nations on stage, UNESCO, UNDP. So we really try to stress the importance of building more sustainable cities for the benefit of all of us. I believe that we don't have a choice to take a risk. I believe that we must try to change.
Here, here.
Thank you. And we'd like to use part of our places to host companies, startup companies, new ideas. I can't wait for my neighbor to do it. I have to start myself. On the other hand, I have to collaborate. If you're in Holland, for 2,000 years we were building communities. We lived below sea level, 40%. Actually now with climate change it's 60%. Building a dike in front of your own house really doesn't help. You have to talk to your neighbor, talk to the next village, talk to the next village, collaborate or die. That's where we are. We can only do small things in our projects. CarbonBlue is one of them. And Wallace takes on this challenge. And again, if you're standing in Heerlen close to a building, you can see it's a big building. You don't always see why we do it. We're not perfect, but we try to be more perfect with the next project. Many of our friends are here today. One big friend, which is Kees Korenstra. I see him there. Kees, I hope that you will lead us into the future, that you will follow our path. And I'd like to have an applause for Kees. I'd like to introduce another friend. Peter, can you come up, please?
Thank you so much for inviting me today. The reason I'm here actually is because I spent the last 7 years trying to bring together world leaders of everything to tackle the crisis the world is facing. One of the world leaders of everything is Gerben and you all. Everyone is struggling with exactly the same problem, but nobody is tackling it through this integrated systems approach that recognizes this isn't just about technology, it's about people, it's about art, it's about culture, it's about design, it's about connecting with young people and communities and religions and faiths and ethics. You all here are creating a wonderful example that if this can come together in this integrated way, using existing resources and existing skills, this transformational journey can be done at much lower investment cost than anyone ever imagined, which you just heard. So what I am doing is saying within the next 5 years, we want one region of every country in the world and of every country of Europe to be doing what you're doing here, but at a regional scale, not just in a local project. And we will help facilitate that with Wallace and you all. And any of you who've got new technologies will have the opportunity to take those technologies to every country of the world within these demonstration regions. And we want the European Union to help us with research investment and knowledge sharing investment. So I just want you to know that what you're doing here with the leadership that you have isn't just a European demonstrator of change, it's a global, outstanding example of change that's only just beginning. It's not easy, any of this, as you know. I'm sure you all have your own individual struggles to be here today and to have your own models of development with your families and your friends and so on. But actually what you're doing here is as profound as you can find anywhere in the world. So I congratulate you on that, and I'm very much looking forward to being part of the journey. So thank you for the opportunity.
So thank you, Peter. I think enough big words. I conclude my speech by thanking you all in this heat from wherever you came from to join us, to celebrate a little bit with us, and maybe try to bond as a family here.
For those who came by car, you can't miss the construction that we built in front of our building. And that story started about 3 years ago when we said, okay, it's time for us to do an energy transition. As you can see, all the roofs have different levels, so it was a technical challenge. So we thought, why not use the parking lot, give it an extra function, not just for parking cars. So we came up with the idea of building a big carport with solar panels. A steel construction, is that the best we can do? Weimar invited us to come to them to talk about a wooden construction. We get wood from Cameroon in Africa. So we said, thank you for the coffee. So they explained that they have a totally different idea of how to lumber wood. Look for trees that are adult and that can be taken out without damaging the ecosystem. And they have 30 little fields. So after 30 years they come back to the first field, and in those 30 years that wood can grow again. And with minimal damage to the ecosystem, they actually build factories in Cameroon where local people can build their local economy. It's not just the solar panels, not just the wood construction or the halophyte filters, it's also social innovation, economic innovation, financial innovation. That's what we bring together in one project. It's more than just an energy transition. We're very proud of it. So we hope that you can see that project and learn how we did that. So today, we will allow you to write a message to our future generations. I would like to invite my buddy. Where is he? Peter Borkens. Peter Borkens. So we have this idea, Peter, to send messages to the future. And I'd really like you to be the first to send that message. I'll have a message too.
great
That's
thing.
where it really starts for us.
Yeah.
That kind of models.
What's that? It's 30 cents. You are allowed 30 cents per 30 euro cents a watt.
Het is dus niet bij voor die connector geven van de connector. Deze
So I would love to give a big applause for our first picture, which is Mark van Bemmel.
More people, more, yes! We all want it, isn't it? We all want to reach all this sustainability. Nature, that is our source to build sustainable biotechnology. What can nature learn us? Nature is extremely efficient.
That is for the environment as well. Beautiful solar panels as an example.
Kids still have an inefficient amount of knowledge about climate change. Collaborated with Motion Strategy, and we came up with this new form of climate change education using virtual reality.
So you can see me a little bit better. I'm Wouter from Blitterswijk. I found 40 years ago my company called Blitterswijk Eco-Mobility, Sustainable Mobility. Be my guest and ask me what I can do for you, and I'd like to advise you.
Here we are, an urban beekeeper. Please give a round of applause for Cyril.
Honey, they collect nectar. And this nectar, they took out the moisture and make this honey out of it. Okay.
Alrighty, this was our elevator pitch. Mingle a bit more and enjoy your meal. Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's always good to look back, and we ask you all to write a short message. My colleagues selected a few, and without mentioning who wrote it, I would like to share some of them with you. Appreciate life, take care of the environment, and love each other. And this one, I think that should be a credo for everybody. Have fun. Again, thank you all for joining. These will go into the time capsule. We'll close it.